Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. So we are going to react to the big news of the day, which is Doordash partners with Klarna to offer US customers even more convenience. And if you don't know what Klarna is and you've been living under a rock, they are one of the biggest buy now, pay later companies in the US, right? Klarna. And it's funny because every financing company always tells you that they make things more accessible or more convenient, and you will not believe how much money they make. In fact, if you just do Klarna annual revenue in Google, right? Annual revenue. What does this mean? In 2020, okay, let's zoom in. They made about $1 billion in revenue, 1 billion. And then in 2023, they made more than 2.2 billion just in 3 years. So that's crazy, right? So the Klarna now manages over 2.5 million transactions per day. And so now the fact that they're gonna partner up with DoorDash, which is a little bit surprised to me because I thought they were everywhere, right? But apparently not with DoorDash. That number is gonna go up. Okay? That number is gonna go up. And if people are doing this with, items like food, it really means that people are cash strapped. So I think the hierarchy of financing, the way it works is that Americans use credit cards to pay for things, and then when they can't make the minimums on credit cards, then that's when they resort to buy now, pay later. I think that's how it works. Okay, I've never used Klarna in my life, or the what's the other one? I think hold on, BNPL companies. Affirm. I've never heard of Sezzle. That's a new one. PayPal's in the game too. PayPal Pay in 4. See, all these companies that have exploded over the years that I've never heard of, but that's because people are cash strapped and they don't know of any alternatives. Possibly velocity banking. I don't know. Okay, so let's go ahead and react to this. And people have been making, uploading videos in social media. Klarna is out of control. Buy now, pay later. Fast food for DoorDash, right? Pay monthly for pizza. Scroll down. DoorDash's insane buy now, pay later plan is proof we've hit rock bottom. Okay. And let's go ahead and react to CBS News. Could DoorDash's Klarna payment plan move signal recession fears because people can't even afford groceries anymore?
Maybe we should try.
But here's the other thing too. When it comes to like DoorDash, I honestly consider that to be a luxury because it's so much cheaper just to go yourself because you're not being added to delivery fee and surcharge. But I don't know what it is about today's society where, people think that necessities are or luxuries are necessities when they shouldn't be. And I always consider DoorDash to be a luxury, kind of like hiring a nanny, right? But you're going someone to do grocery shopping for you. But let's go ahead and watch and see what's up.
Here's a question all of us likely have asked at one point or the other. Say you want or need something, but you can't quite afford it at the moment. Well, as they say, there's an app for that. Apps like Klarna allow you to buy now and pay later. It's just one of the lending services that really has exploded in popularity in recent years. And now, Klarna is teaming up with DoorDash, allowing users to buy now and pay later for fast food. Sign me up. Let's get to CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady. Kelly, tell us about Klarna breaking into the food delivery service and how this could possibly mean less money in my wallet and more expansion in the inches around my midsection.
I'm really so I just want to add one thing before we continue the video. I am really surprised that this was not there before because you see it in every website. You see it in Amazon, you see it in Walmart. So I'm like, well, I probably they I thought they already had this in food delivery, but apparently they don't. And it's a big deal because if people do this, it means they can't afford food, or they're okay with splitting a huge um delivery surcharge into 50, into 4, equal payments, I think.
You and me both, Reed. I'm always a big orderer of fast food on the weekend, so I hear you. So look, Klarna.
Not gonna lie, she looks really good for someone who consumes a lot of fast food on the weekends. Am I right, boys?
Has a new partnership with Doordash. It was just announced. Klarna is one of those big buy now, pay later services where you can choose to buy something and then you can split that up into payments or sort of push that payment off. And so this partnership with Doordash, you're going to see when you open up the Doordash app and you order something from your local pizza shop, you want it delivered, there's going to be an option to buy now, pay later with Klarna. You can either, fully pay, you can break it up into 4 installments that are interest-free, or you can pay later. This is really interesting. I mean, Klarna.
Okay, so here's the thing. I have seen those buy now, pay later contracts, and I've always heard they're interest free, but people have sent me their contracts. And again, it might not be Klarna, it might be with another company, but I've seen 30% interest. And so I'm wondering if there's like some sort of a trap there where they say they can legally advertise 0%, but because they know that most people are going to be late, then that's when they hit you with like a 30% surcharge. I have to figure that out. Uh, they can't just survive off of 0% interest. So pretty sure there's some sort of trap door involved. I just can't figure out. I need to do more research on how they do that.
Klarna has announced that it is going to go public on the New York Stock Exchange. This is the the second big partnership. They're also doing one with Walmart.
Wait, here's the thing. If they're going to go public, I feel like this IPO might be like the next Google of our generation, or Google IPO of our generation. Now, if someone were to ask me, and I'm not a stocks person at all, right? I have no knowledge of stocks. I don't know anything about it. But if someone were to ask me, like, which IPO would I bet on? Maybe like OpenAI if they were going to go public. I don't think they have any, I don't know anything about that. But let's say, you choose between two companies, OpenAI versus Klarna. I probably would bet on Klarna because most people are terrible with their money. And so if I'm going to grow it, I'm going to bet on them more than OpenAI. Even though I love OpenAI, right? Again, I'm ignorant about stocks, so I have no idea what I'm talking about. But the fact that they're going to go public soon, I personally, if I were a stock person, would just put all my money into these buy now, pay later companies and own the majority of their stock.
They've announced in a couple of weeks. The thing that gives me a little bit of anxiety, Reed, though, is we've seen these buy now, pay later things get very popular with large clothing orders, but buy now, pay later for food, at some point you are going to have to pay that balance that you.
But here's the thing, it's not food, it's food delivery, right? So I think there's a big difference. It's not just it's food with the surcharge of delivery tacked onto it, right? So I don't know why they're not differentiating between that. But what if they start to offer Klarna at your local Kroger, Publix, Albertsons, Ralph's, CVS, right? Maybe they do at CVS, but I know that they do in Walmart.com. But maybe they're going to start doing that where you don't even need a credit card anymore. They're just going to offer you things on credit, split the payments over time, and then it say 0% interest. And once you can't make the payment, just jack up the interest to 30%. That will be insane, and everybody will be cash strapped for sure.
You have, and I was actually talking with an analyst about this earlier today, and he said, this could be a recession indicator. People are putting more balances on their credit cards, and as you start to see people do that with things like food and necessities like that, that's a little bit of a warning sign. So don't put too much on your buy now, pay later, Reed.
I know, but the pepperoni pizza sounds so good in the moment. We also want to ask you about some telling numbers we're seeing from FedEx's latest earning report. What do you have there?
Yes, so FedEx is just the latest.
Okay, I think that's the end of the segment regarding the buy now, pay later. So now let's read some of the comments, okay? Doordash, I know it says Doordash, meant to write Doordash, is ridiculously expensive. They turn a $10 meal into $50 with the added fees. As a full-time DoorDash driver, this is going to put so many people in debt. This is interesting. This person has a check mark on the YouTube channel. Let me actually just quickly check this. 118,000 subscribers, and you got to deliver DoorDash. Wow. Okay. Tells you how you can't just focus on YouTube. You got to do YouTube and then sell a product through your YouTube channel. Klarna's high interest rates are criminal. See, that's an interesting thing. Like I said, they advertise 0% interest rates, but somehow they're going to get you into the high interest rates if you F up. And I think that's what they're expecting now. Eat now, pay later, right? Imagine a debt collector calling about that cheeseburger you still have to pay for. This is bad news for our economy for sure. And we're basically allowing this in almost every sector of our economy. I mean, the money is not made in the product; it's made in the financing, right? And that's why, like, if you go to a car dealership, they emphasize the car loan more than the car because the car, there's a lot more profit in the car loan than the car, right? Let me just ask ChatGPT this: is it true that car dealerships prefer you to take a car loan over or actually let me say it, car dealerships make more money in car loans than selling cars, aka the car is an excuse to sell the loan. Let's see what we get here. Yes, that's largely true. So you can see that financing is where the money is made, buying now and paying over time, and not the product itself, especially nowadays. So all right, DoorDash. That's the big story of the day, folks. DoorDash. All right. Have a great day, everybody. This is Korean Atlanta Mentorship, and let me know your thoughts. And let me tell you do that thing that all YouTubers tell you do. Don't forget to like and subscribe. All right. I'll see you all in the next video.